This episode of Falmouth in Focus is brought to you by the following corporate underwriter.
John's Liquors, 729 Main Street, Falmouth, 508-548-2287.
On this edition of Falmouth in Focus, catch up on how the Falmouth Commodores are faring this season. Join us for the return of the Falmouth Jewish Film Festival, featuring 5 evenings of films, discussions, and free refreshments. And immerse yourself in the beauty of the annual Hydrangea Fest. This is Falmouth in Focus, and it starts right now. Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, our bi-monthly roundup of local events and FCTV member engagement with the community. I'm Eileen Preston. The 300 Committee Land Trust has a new home. Falmouth Select Board member Edwin P. Zielinski II sold his family's farm to the 300 Committee. The historic farmhouse and surrounding land at 13 Thomas B. Landers Road will now serve as the Land Trust's headquarters. With its proximity to the Coonamessett Greenway Trail, this location is set to be a hub for conservation efforts. Let's take a closer look.
I appreciate the fact that we were called back here to help explain how this came to be. So I guess we'll start with, we grew up uptown where Town Fair Tire was, where that old house in T-Ticket was with the rest of our family. We lived upstairs. And when my father and mother bought the house just on the other side of these 30, 40-foot arborvitaes, he bought this piece of property for $3,200 and didn't know how he was going to pay for it. These trees, they were in a nursery where the Walmart is now. My father and I transplanted a half a dozen or a dozen of these. I was 6 years old, handing him buckets of water out of a 55-gallon truck. And these trees were 12 inches tall. The house behind you that we'll go in a little bit, the main body of the gambrel was the horse barn. And he used to board horses from some of the officers at Otis would bring their mares here and be bred to a quarter horse stallion we had. And my father was always a farmer at heart. So we always had out in this field, we had horses, we had cows, we had pigs, we had chickens. There's a 3,000-pound bull that was our friend, the white bull, Diesel. He was a minor celebrity here on this side of town. In that field, we learned to ride horses. I still have horses now. I still compete on horseback. I did it last weekend. Nobody ever talked about building anything out there. You'll see me be very emotional about how we protect our land, even at the cost of housing and all of that, because once it's gone, it's gone. That was one of his big deals. Do not destroy that field. All the family dogs are buried in that slope so they could never be dug up again because your family stays with you on the farm. My wife delivered lambs in her work clothes in a dress on her hands and knees one night because the baby wouldn't get her colostrum and my wife wasn't having it. Or watching my daughter Ashley run through the mud because a bull calf was on the wrong side of the fence up to her ankles in her hose from school. But that's what I see when I come here. I don't see this, I see everything that took place here. My father was 50 when they turned this barn into a house. All his friends, his Mason friends, Andy Dufresne, a long-time name in Falmouth, helped share this dream of his. These huge beams started to arrive. They came from, I don't know what the correct terminology is for it, but it was the Taunton Insane Asylum. When they demoed that, he bought all of those big timbers. All the hangars that you see, he built all of those.
Our quarter-horse stallion that we had for 20 years, this was his stall right here. The bull stall was here. There's a portrait of a stallion behind here. Did you ever see that? These pegs were hand cut and put in and sanded. He cut every one of these. My brothers are very proud of what we did as a family.
On his deathbed, this is what he thought, his life's work, what's going to happen to it. And that's the assurances we had to make as his sons. And that's why we're having this conversation, and you are in charge of his legacy too. And we couldn't be more appreciative of that.
Another unique Falmouth green space that is a popular spot for visitors is Spore Gardens. We recently stopped by to see the sights and discover what they have to offer.
Right off the bike path here in Falmouth is Spore Gardens. This is a 6-acre woodland garden beaming with plants, trees, anchors, and more. The gardens are a testament to the efforts of Charles and Margaret Spore, who developed these gardens more than 40 years ago. They are still maintained in order to preserve the legacy of its founders. Featured here are the anchors of Spore Gardens, which were collected by Charles Spore himself following his interest in the design of early anchors. The collection has artifacts from as far back as 1760. 13 acres from across time sit on display on Oyster Pond, many attributed to a specific year and ship. Each one varies in design, from stone and wood to steel and iron. The history of these anchors shines through as you walk throughout the garden. Another item that Charles Spore had a fascination with is the millstones that can be found across the gardens. Once used to grind wood, pulp, or corn, the millstones serve various purposes across the 6 acres. Some are used as steps, accents to benches, fountains, or just landmarks within the garden. While Charles focused on the decorations, as he referred to them, Margaret was more interested in the land as a whole, looking beautiful and inviting to the public. The garden boasts many plants and trees, including daffodils, hydrangeas, perennials, and many more throughout the seasons. On the first Thursday of every month, the garden invites the public to volunteer, working on maintaining the gardens, and there are events throughout the year open to the public as well, such as the Butterfly Celebration Day in August and Daffodil Planting Day in October. These gardens are a beautiful place to take a walk, enjoy the scenery, or just relax by the pond surrounded by nature. The gardens are free and open to the public, making them the perfect destination.
The Commodores season is in full swing, and we've been following all the action. FCTV intern Aman Mahdi brings us this report from a recent game.
Throughout the season, the Falmouth Commodores have always had offensive sparks. In the past 3 games, the Commodores outscored its opponents in the first 5 innings, but it was never enough to get the job done. However, tonight, the game didn't even go beyond 5 innings because of the presence of light rain that canceled the game. But in those 5 innings, the Falmouth Commodores came up with 7 runs compared to Orleans' 1 that sealed the deal at Fuller Field. The Commodores looking for just its 2nd win on the season here against Orleans. But these foggy and windy weather conditions made it pretty tough on the players. Nonetheless, both of them played on. The first inning was a shutout performance from Falmouth. Commodore starting pitcher Tanner Smith got things going by getting a pair of strikeouts. On the other side, Falmouth batsman Luke Gaffney started the bottom of the first by hitting a single on a ground ball to right field. This allowed his teammate Jackson Willardis to run at home base and score first for Falmouth. A few seconds later, Commodore batsman Trent Carraway snatches a fly ball to center left field for a home run that also sends Gaffney all around the diamond to go up 3-0 and end the first. As the fog thickens and the Commodores continue to give trouble to the Firebirds, batsman Hudson Shoup lines out here to Caraway on third base to keep Orleans at 0. A few plays later, Falmouth batsman Jason Jones singles here on a line drive to left field that allows batsman Gavin Keelan to score. Moving into the fourth and the Commodores up by 4, Keelan strikes again with a single through the fog, while Falmouth's Carson Bowen and Tab Tracy put 2 scores on the board to make it 6-0. And it doesn't end there for Falmouth. Just seconds after, Gaffney flies into a force out that brought Willits home to add another run and totals up to 7 for the Commodores. But soon enough, the fog gifted the Firebirds a triple here and a run on the board as Tracy struggles to find the ball at center field. However, the fog continued to grow, resulting in the game being called after just 5 innings. The Commodores finished with a 7-1 victory to end the night. One player that had a major impact on this game was Commodore starting pitcher Tanner Smith. The Massachusetts native says that despite these weather conditions, the team still got the job done.
And the guys just took care of business at the plate, and it was great to see. And, balls were flying today, so good line drives getting through and ground balls getting through, so it was great to see and just happy for us as a whole.
After improving to a 2-8 record on the season, the Falmouth Commodores get set to host the Bourne Braves tomorrow right here at Fuller Field. First pitch is at 6 p.m. This is Aman Mahdi reporting, FCTV.
We wish the Commodores the best of luck this season and will continue to keep you updated throughout the summer. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we will take a sneak peek at a popular summer festival across the Cape. Stay with us.
Whether you are at the very beginning of your career, looking for meaningful change, or simply want to make an impactful difference in your community, behavioral health careers on Cape Cod and the islands will always give you a place to shine.
Every Thursday, Marine Park on Falmouth Harbor transforms into a bustling hub of local commerce with the Falmouth Farmers Market. Local farmers, bakers, and culinary artisans offer a delightful array of fresh produce, seafood, cheese, bread, and flowers. Join us as we explore the vibrant atmosphere and the community spirit that makes this market a cherished tradition in Falmouth.
Every Thursday during the summer, Falmouth gets fresher with its local farmers market. From 12 to 5, local Cape vendors of fresh produce, baked goods, and pantry staples congregate at the Falmouth Marine Park field.
This is Farming Falmouth, and we are a nonprofit. Our mission is to strengthen our local food system. We believe we can have a lot more food growing in Falmouth, and we're doing that work on several levels. We have educational workshops for home gardeners and homesteaders, 3 community gardens, that's 170 plots, 2 in East Falmouth, and the most recent at Peterson Farm in Woods Hole. Our big project this year is where we are growing food, all kinds of fresh produce, for donation, all of it, to the Falmouth Service Center and the Cape and Islands Veterans Outreach Mobile Food Truck. We have a lot of wonderful volunteers that come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, learning from our farm manager, Jenny Christian, how to grow produce, a lot of produce, I want to say, a lot of produce on a little bit of land.
We're a small flower and microgreen farm out of North Falmouth, and we have, usually lots of times I'll have microgreens harvest to order, so they grow in 2 weeks, so you can bring the flats right here and pick out your flavors you'd like. On the small flower farm, I'm out of flowers, so here's one on hold, but lots of times I'll do them in painted mason jars, and we have amazing local honey. I'm not the beekeeper, but he has 6 hives on our little farm, and this week was just harvested last week. Look at that, beautiful. So the color changes as the season goes on. So you'll see it gets darker because the bees will naturally forage on different flowers to make a darker honey as the season goes on. Then we have some small batch eggs, and that's what we have.
With even more to see and eat, come stop by the summer event to get your hands on all these local treats. By doing so, you will be supporting local businesses from all over the Cape.
The Falmouth Farmers Market will be open on Thursdays at Marine Park throughout the summer. This summer, the Falmouth Jewish Film Festival returns with in-person screenings featuring compelling films that explore Jewish identity and global perspectives. We spoke with organizer Pamela Rothstein about this year's films.
On July 9th, we have the long-awaited return of the Summer Jewish Film Festival here at Falmouth Jewish Congregation. We haven't been able to meet in person and offer this to the public for some years, and we're delighted to open our doors for 5 weeks of feature films and documentaries. So let me tell you about the first film, which is The Catskills, a feature-length documentary by director Lex Gillespie. It's a film that wonderfully captures the vibrancy and energy of this very special locale. And we will conclude that film also with, as we do every time, with a discussion. And for this one in particular, we welcome your stories about the Catskills. The following week, on July 16th, we have a award-winning Israeli feature. This is the Israeli Film of the Year that has been at festivals. It's a marvelous film entitled Seven Blessings. It was a mega hit in Israel. The following week, on the 23rd, we have another feature. This is a dynamic feature from Canada, a Canadian drama, a musical drama. It's a bold and brash kind of film. It will suit younger audiences, but older audiences as well. It's a universal story, a bit like The Jazz Singer, but in modern times with this dynamo. And this film won the Toronto Jewish Film Festival Audience Award. Following that, we have a truly inspiring and uplifting political film, in the sense that those are hard words to put together these days, and that's why I chose this. This is a documentary about the former Canadian Supreme Court Justice Rosalie Abella. The title is Without Precedent: The Supreme Life of Rosalie Abella. And look forward to the conversation we have after that, comparing the Canadian system and her personality, why we know certain stories and don't know other stories. So I'm delighted and proud to bring her story to you this year. And finally, we're ending with an Israeli feature film on August 6th. That film is Victory. And what I love about it is that it's captivating from the moment it begins. It is a musical. It's a musical that would be familiar in style to Americans familiar with Broadway musicals and Singing in the Rain and film musicals. So come, you can purchase individual tickets for films or a season pass at a discounted rate and a bit easier for you to manage. We are selling tickets only in advance and on our website at falmouthjewish.org. Our facilities are open and welcoming to everyone, and we love having the public come and join us here at the congregation.
Screenings start July 9th and are shown on every Tuesday through August 6th. Our own Gail Blakely, host of FCTV's Falmouth is Cooking, was the guest of honor at a touching, tearful, and delicious potluck lunch up at Highfield recently. That's where she's retired as the director of the culinary program and assumed a less hands-on emeritus role. Some awfully sweet things were said about her savory teachings.
We started going to the beach together, and then she started talking to me about a vision that she had. And the vision was Highfield Hall, and how she wanted to have people have access to a kitchen and teach and spread her love of food everywhere. and get people to help her. And I thought, she'll never get that done. That's a big thing to take on. You know, slowly but surely, she began to get everything done.
I wrote you a poem. Gail, here are some words of praise, lauding you for all of your ways of leading the team, making real the dream, guiding the halls, kitchens, programs, days.
I admired an apron she had on, one of the Japanese aprons, you know, that go over your head. And I said, I love those. So when I was leaving, she literally took it off and handed it to me. And that's who she is. She would literally give you the shirt off her back.
The biggest thing Gail did for me was when I went to her and told her I had this crazy idea to put together a cookbook for Tommy's Place. She said, I'm in, I'll be there with you. And without Gail, that cookbook never would have come together.
Gail and I joke, she's my mother's age as well, and she's my Highfield mother. So thank you for all you've done to make this a really sort of superb, world-class culinary program that people talk about, and they come here just to see you and to learn from you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, community people. You'll finish it, okay. Oh, good. I need someone to do that for me. All of you volunteers, all of you board people, just everybody who's cooked with me and who's helped me over the years. Thank you.
Tune in to FCTV to continue to catch Gail and her delicious dishes on Falmouth is Cooking. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll visit a beloved new event at Highfield Hall. Stay with us.
If your area is under hurricane watch or warning, do you know what to do? These are the 5 crucial steps you can take to prepare for a storm of this severity. Learn about your area's emergency plans, such as evacuation routes and sheltering plans. Pay close attention to alerts, as evacuation details can change, and it may take up to 34 hours to evacuate over the bridge in extreme conditions. Ensure your home and vehicle are packed with emergency supplies such as food, water, and medical supplies. Secure windows and doors to avoid destruction. Protect any household objects that could be hazardous when damaged, especially utilities. To learn more, contact your local emergency management division or visit ready.gov/plan.
Another exciting event to watch for across the Cape this summer is the Hydrangea Fest. While you can catch those beautiful flowers in bloom across the Cape this summer, we spoke with the Cape Cod Garden Club about this year's event.
I am C.L. Fernari, and I am delighted to be going into the 10th anniversary of the Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival. What's great about a hydrangea is that they're big and blue. They are outrageous. There aren't that many shrubs with blue flowers. And frankly, not all parts of the country can grow this plant well. We grow this plant well on Cape Cod because we have great drainage, we have a maritime climate, warmer winters, cooler summers, and we have acidic soil, which makes them blue. And that's why people come from all over the country and even the world to attend the Cape Cod Hydrangea Fest. There are all kinds of gardens on tour, large, small, flower-filled, vegetable. One of my favorite things in the world is in the summertime when I can walk out here to the vegetable garden and say, what's for dinner? And tonight's answer is sugar snap peas and arugula and chard. All the gardens that are open for the benefit of a local nonprofit. You pay $5 to get into a garden, and that money goes directly to a local nonprofit. You plan out where you want to go by going to the Cape Cod Hydrangea Fest website, and there is a day-by-day description of all the gardens that are open that day, and they're listed according to what town they're open. And most of them are open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There are all types of gardens and all types of experiences, so know that you will have a different experience in every property.
Cape Cod Hydrangea Fest will run through July 14th with opportunities to check out some beautiful local gardens. Highfield Hall and Gardens recently hosted the 3rd annual Hounds of Highfield, a celebration of our beloved dogs. Families and their furry friends enjoyed a fun-filled afternoon with a costume parade, agility course, and local vendors. Some highlights from the day included a Blessing of the Animals by Reverend Nell Fields and music by Michael Oakland. Let's take a look at this unique day at Highfield Hall.
This is our 3rd annual Hounds of Highfield. We're so excited. This is a community event where we invite people from all over the Cape to come and just celebrate the companionship of dogs and cats. We do have people for cats here.
Cooper is a purebred rat terrier. He'll be 12 in a few weeks. And today he's wearing his Celtics bandana in honor of the Celtics championship. Just the dog atmosphere, Cooper thoroughly enjoys it. It's a safe way for the dogs to, socialize and be with each other. And, we visit the various vendors, and of course I look forward to the animal blessing.
I look down and see my dog, simple spelling G-O-D, same word backwards D-O-D. They would stay with me all day, I'm the one who walks away.
I think the favorite part is just bringing people together and having their dogs with them. I just find it hysterical, and everyone's in such a great mood. The event itself is really kind of low key, and everyone has a great time, and that's my favorite part.
And that's going to wrap up our show for the moment. Special thanks to our crew of FCTV summer interns who shot a bunch of the video you saw in this program. We'll leave you now with some beautiful sights and sounds from downtown Falmouth. Until next time, we'll see you around town.